Imagine walking outside and noticing the grass is completely soaked. You think to yourself, it didn't rain last night, so the grass can't possibly be wet. But then you look over and see the sprinklers running. You assumed that because one specific cause didn't happen, the effect was impossible. This type of reasoning error is documented in T. Edward Dahmer's Attacking Faulty Reasoning. It is classified as a formal structural fallacy. This diagram shows the formula for a conditional statement. The structure is simple. If A, then B. In this equation, the first part, A, is called the antecedent. The second part, B, which follows the then, is the consequent. The error happens when an arguer states that A did not occur and concludes that B therefore cannot occur. This is called denying the antecedent. It fails because it treats A as the exact and only way to get to B, completely blinding the arguer to any alternative causes. Let's test this with a practical example. Someone might argue, if I were a heavy smoker, smoking would shorten my life. But I don't smoke, so I expect to live a long and healthy life. This diagram maps the English phrases to the logic structure. If I smoke becomes the antecedent, A. My life will be shortened becomes the consequent, B. The arguer then claims not A, they don't smoke. Then they draw their conclusion, therefore not B, my life will not be shortened. The logic fractures right here. By denying the antecedent, the arguer assumes smoking is the singular cause of a shortened life. They miss the entire cluster of other possibilities, genetics, car accidents, or poor diet, that can still lead to the same outcome. When we strip away conversational English and plug statements into logical variables, we immediately expose when someone is ignoring the complexity of real-world causes. This structural flaw becomes much harder to spot when we are dealing with abstract policies, especially if we happen to agree with the arguer's conclusion. Consider a debate over capital punishment. An opponent of the policy might argue, if capital punishment actually deterred people from committing crimes, then it would be justified, but it doesn't have that deterrent effect. Here is the mapped diagram of those premises. Pause the video for a moment, look closely at the pattern, and predict the exact flawed conclusion the arguer is about to make. The arguer concludes, therefore, capital punishment is not a justifiable practice. The structure is absolutely identical to the smoker's trap. The arguer asserts not A, no deterrence, and leaps to not B, not justified. They ignore that there could be completely different reasons, like retribution or cost, that someone else might argue justify the practice. Agreeing with an arguer's ultimate conclusion often blinds us to the structural failure of the steps they took to arrive there. Pointing out logical flaws in a real conversation is tricky. If you interrupt a debate to tell someone they are denying the antecedent, they will likely tune you out immediately. Instead, you can mirror your opponent's exact logical formula, but apply it to a subject that yields an undeniably false result. For instance, start with, if Newt is a dog, then Newt is an animal. Then deny the antecedent, Newt is not a dog. Following their exact logic, you must conclude, therefore, Newt is not an animal. But Newt is a cat. By demonstrating the structural breakdown through a parallel example, you force the opponent to see their own logic is broken. This checklist summarizes how to navigate these situations. First, identify the conditional formula someone is using. Second, look for alternative causes they might be ignoring. Third, mirror the argument structure to see if it holds up under different subjects. Mastering the structure of arguments provides a shield against manipulation, ensuring that we only accept conclusions built on a truly sound foundation.